of here, we gon' be somebody.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my nursing vlog. My name's Jess. I am currently trying to start a nursing vlog just to, help anyone who's maybe going through their nursing journey themselves, or also if you're just considering it, just to give you guys some answers and some insight to what it's really like to the whole nursing application process, and hopefully in the future when I get my acceptance letter all through my nursing journey. But I did apply to nursing at Valencia College, so basically they have a rolling admissions. As long as you meet all their prerequisites and their minimum GPA, you're guaranteed in. So it's just a matter of when, hopefully next summer or fall. But 2020 has kind of pushed everything back, especially that whole wait list is a lot longer now since they had to push off a whole semester. But I'll definitely let you guys know about that when I officially start, because I just have been waiting for that forever. I'm so excited, so eager to start nursing school. But yeah, so today's video, I kind of just wanted it to be about more of my pre-nursing classes and things that either I would have done differently, and some things I did do that helped me get to this point where my application's finally in. So yeah, just 6 little tips. Sorry, I keep looking down. My paper's down there and it's got all my little tips written out on it. But yeah, just stay tuned, and I'm just going to give you guys some advice that either I wish I would have had, or things that I just think did help me to where my application is finally sent in. But yeah, stay tuned, guys. Alrighty guys, so tip number 1 is to meet with an advisor. I cannot stress that enough. If you are in high school, even then, it's never too early to start, working towards your dream or goal of being a nurse. So basically, if you're in high school, I would definitely say to meet with an advisor and see about if you possibly can do dual enrollment. That was something that I did, and it just speeds up the process. It's not something that's necessary. You don't have to do it if it's something that would stress you out too much. But it's just something that I found really helpful for me, just because I was able to get my AA a lot faster and just kind of get some of those prereqs out of the way. Especially AP classes did those too. I did AP Psych, which was a something that could transfer over as a college credit and count as one of my prereqs in nursing. So if you have the opportunity to do that, I definitely recommend meeting with your advisors. If you're in college, you also have advisors. Sometimes they're not as personal, I guess, as the high school ones, but they should be able to give you some more information, because it's just, you need to know all of the prereqs you want to know all about if you had to take the TEAS test, what's the minimum score, what grades you need to be getting in these classes, just little bits of information like that are obviously really important when you're applying to something like nursing school, where it can be competitive or just has a lot of specifics that you have to get before you can, actually officially apply. So just make sure you meet with an advisor, just so that you have all of the correct information. And it's also really helpful just while you're taking these classes, because, if you can't get a C, some things are like that where they're so competitive you can't get a B or C. You just kind of want to know, because it helps you stay motivated while you're taking these classes, especially the lab classes that can get really stressful. Just having the right information and the in your head motivation, like, I have to get an A in this class, or my nursing dream could be out the door, little things like that, just to help you know what you need and what you should be aiming for, if that makes sense. But I definitely recommend to meet with an advisor, whether it's a high school one or a college one. It's never too early, like I said. So you can never be too prepared, especially with nursing. So anyways, that's my tip number 1, guys. Alrighty guys, so tip number 2, study, study, study. And if you didn't hear me, study, because that should be so obvious, but sometimes, it's easily just pushed aside, especially when you're doing really well in a class. Like, I was really interested in biology and my anatomy and physiology classes, so I didn't have to study all the time, just because I loved, what I was learning. It was really easy for me to pick up. But I wish I would have, because that could have been just an extra few points either on my final grade or in my TEAS test. I don't know if you guys watched my last video, but if you haven't, you should. But it was basically about some things about the TEAS test. My whole science portion was anatomy and physiology and some chemistry. So when you're studying for these classes, you're also studying for the TEAS exam if you have to take that, because they're such a big part. And you're also studying for your future in nursing, because obviously anatomy and physiology has a lot of information that you're going to be using in nursing. I'm not even in nursing, but I know that. So like I said, just studying for all your prerequisite classes. There's a reason that they're your prereqs for nursing. So just make sure you're giving them all the attention and everything you can, because those are your tickets into nursing school, whether it's the final grade or the TEAS exam if you have to take that. But also, if you can, a little thing that helped me was having like a study buddy or a group chat in every class, just because it's easy to, have somebody to bounce questions off of, make sure you're understanding the information right. Maybe you missed something in the notes and that's something they picked up on, or you're stronger in, knowing what bones are where, but they're better at knowing what type of, functions they have. Like just little things like that, because obviously we can use our strengths and weaknesses to help each other out, because if my strength is something that is your weakness, vice versa, that's just something that obviously can help any nursing student or any student in general. But yeah, so definitely remember to study, use Quizlet, anything. Writing down is always really smart to do, because that just helps with your brain. There's so many studies that have proven that to be true. So, sounds obvious, but what did I say? Study. Alrighty guys, so tip number 3 is to take the TEAS exam after you take your anatomy and physiologies. Some schools don't require that you take the TEAS exam. My school just did, and I wish I would have taken it after my anatomy and physiology too, just because that was a huge part of my science, and then it's like 30-something% of your TEAS exam. So if you can, I know that it can be scary to take it, but don't wait till the last minute, especially because it also takes time for the TEAS results to be sent from the ATI website or institution over to your school, and they have to accept it. It took 4 days for mine and cost me $27. But yeah, just little things like that, because that could be a difference of a few points that could make you from advanced to, the highest one, which I can't even think of right now. But yeah, so if you haven't taken the TEAS, just try to plan it out and plan smartly. Make your classes, make it easier for yourself. You can take anatomy and physiology 1 and then anatomy and physiology 2. Definitely do that, because obviously they kind of go together, 1 and 2. But yeah, so take TEAS test after you finish anatomy and physiology 2, and then study for the TEAS test. But you'll be studying throughout the whole semester, though, and whole science portion, if you can just, like I said, study in that prereq. But yeah. Alrighty guys, so tip number 4, that is to keep your notes. I know that if you're like me, I write down every single word that the professor is saying, and I write down. I'm that person that just, I also write really hard, so it's really loud. But anyways, yeah, so keep those notes though, because especially, like I said, anatomy and physiology 1 and then 2, you're going to use those anatomy and physiology notes from 1, and you're going to use them in anatomy and physiology 2. Just kind of like with biology, you're going to use those in microbiology, and I even use those in essential nutrition with diet therapy. Just because, like I said, everything with these nursing prereqs kind of coincide, and you're obviously taking them for a reason to be a nurse, and they're obviously prereqs for nursing for a reason. So if you can, I know it could be a lot of notes or whatever. I've even had people try to, ask me for my notes or pay me for them, and I'm just like, because those are my treasure. Those are something that I know I'm going to use, and something that I still use even right now, not being in classes, just so I can keep kind of, refreshing my memory, just because it's a lot easier to remember than to have to relearn everything. So if you can, definitely keep your notes and your textbooks if you can. I know everything can be returned or online where you get it for a certain amount of time, but if you bought your textbook and you have the ability to keep it, definitely do that, because I cannot tell you how many times I have heard that having those notes and those textbooks have helped people even when they're officially in nursing school. So yeah, that's my tip number 4. Alrighty guys, so tip number 5. My 5th tip is to talk with an RN if you have the opportunity to. Personally, my sister and my aunt are both RNs, so I had people to talk to just to kind of have some insight to those professions, to the whole actual career and what it is like, because you can only learn so much just on the outside, but having someone who's going through it themselves and is doing that in their daily life. Just helps to kind of know what you're getting yourself into. I've said it before, I watched the nursing vlogs just to kind of know what it's going to be like, and I'm hoping my nursing vlog will be able to turn out like one of those. But it just definitely helps to ask the questions that you need to ask, because this is going to be the rest of your life. You're happy in your career, you're going to be happier just in life in general if you love what you do. So you definitely want to know what you're getting into before you're in it. So yeah, talk with an RN if you have the chance to, and if not, volunteer at hospitals, because you can make connections. And honestly, I volunteered at hospitals. I used to pass out Thanksgiving Day meals and do little carts for the kids with cancer, and it just helps make those connections and see what they actually are doing in their everyday lives. But it also helps because if you're trying to get a job in maybe that department, it just would help because you have volunteer experience, you have talked to people. Connections are everything these days, so definitely take advantage of that if you can. Alrighty guys, so we're here, final tip, my 6th tip, and this one's probably gonna get a little bit personal just because I kind of want to open up a little bit while I have this opportunity too about myself and my personal experiences in life with my whole just getting to this point where I have that application in, and that is to keep going. So that sounds so basic and so like duh, but it's hard. Sometimes it can be hard, just even in these pre-nursing classes. You start like, oh, should I change my degree? Or everybody's doing nursing. Like, that's gonna start getting difficult because, Sally's really good at anatomy and physiology and microbiology, and she gets straight A's, and then I'm over here who's gotten a B, and, even gotten a couple of B's. B's get degrees, and there's institutions like mine, Valencia, where you just gotta get those minimum prereqs, and there's other ways to get it. You can do it with the LPN. Those you're in the hospital, you still are working, like, you're still a nurse. So I wanted, like I said, to make this a little bit more of a personal part of the video. I struggle from bipolar disorder and anxiety. So if you have anxiety, that's kind of my main concern with nursing, is because it's so well known for being that highly stressful and that, hard job, that everything that people are like, oh, you have anxiety and you want to have a high stress job, like, are you crazy? But yeah, I have always wanted to be a nurse, and I have always heard people tell me, change it, like, you can't be a nurse, like, that's too stressful for you, you're just gonna have anxiety attacks daily. And I have social anxiety, so I get really nervous around people, like, especially 2020, just getting out of my house has been such a struggle because I am so nervous, and I have to go to the bathroom for 2 seconds just because I'm shaking, and I don't mean to get like that, but it just happens. Like, my heart's racing, and it's hard. But look at me, I'm doing a nursing vlog now, so you can overcome it, and don't let that deter you completely from nursing, because I did for me, and I changed my degree to psychology, and now I'm applying to nursing just a little bit later than my original plan was. But I just wish I wouldn't have listened to everybody, because sometimes it just takes having someone say, I believe in you, or you can do it, to, believe in yourself. And that person for me was my mom, my family, and my boyfriend, and they just really helped me, find the willpower to want to chase after my dreams, because I had gotten so down and just school wasn't fun. And now look at me, I'm smiling and talking about school, which is just crazy. But I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and I am so excited. And, having anxiety in nursing school is going to be hard, and nursing every day, it's going to be hard. Anxiety just does that. It makes everything a little bit harder, but doesn't make it impossible. So remember that, because if you really want it, you're not going to get stopped on your way to achieving your dream. You're going to go for it, and you're going to get through every battle, every challenge that it tries to throw at you, and in the end, that dream of being a nurse happening is going to be the real reward. Just because even sending in my nursing application was such a rewarding feeling, where everything had become worth it. Like, all the anxiety attacks I've had while taking all these pre-nursing classes just all made it worth it. And the other thing is, I like what I'm studying now, so I would black out and like making me stand up for presentations. I'd take speech, did that online, and I still went to black out, even though, you know, technically nobody was there, but I knew that people were watching and listening. But yeah, just, you can do it if you want it. Don't let anybody deter you from your dream, because if it is your dream and you want it that bad, nothing's gonna stand in your way. Like, nothing did for me, and I wish I just would have, you know, opened up to people about the whole reason I didn't want to do nursing, at least to my family, my boyfriend, about how I changed my degree all of a sudden because of my anxiety. I never told them that. I have a scholarship type thing that didn't really want me to do nursing just because of how stressful it is, and it was a whole scholarship where they were paying for my school just for my mental health. Like, that's the whole reason I got the scholarship. And yeah, I changed my entire degree and spent a whole year basically on stuff that helped me with my AA. I did get that, but I could have been taking all my pre-nursing classes to fill up some of the same spots that I had psych and a lot of psychology and forensic classes. Just, you know, things that weren't the best time spent of my college career, if that makes sense. But yeah, so if you need someone to tell you that you can do it, I'll be that person. Just, I'm gonna drop my Instagram in the little box down there, whatever that is, the comment box description. And you guys can definitely message me, reach out to me, because I've been there. I know that it can be scary and it can be, you know, stressful, obviously, and you don't know what to expect, and that's just a whole nother set of anxiety worries itself, is the unexpected. But I just want to be there for you guys, because it definitely helps having someone in your corner rooting for you, cheering you on, telling you that you can do it, because you can do it. We got this. We're gonna get through it. Nursing school might make me pull out all my hair, but that's okay, because it's gonna have that my end dream's gonna be coming true of becoming a nurse. So yeah, guys, don't let anxiety or any mental illness or any of that stop you from achieving your dream. Yeah, tip number 6, guys, keep going. Alrighty, guys, so I hope you enjoyed my little video about all my pre-nursing classes tips. Like I said, I want to make a TEAS video just because I did get an advanced score on my first one, so I just want to help maybe anybody else out who's got test anxiety like I did that day, because I ended up doing a lot better than I thought, and I just wish I would have taken it way sooner. But yeah, so just let me know what else you guys would kind of want content about, just because I do want to help anybody else out who has, you know, questions like I have, or is considering nursing, or maybe you're going through nursing, because hey, we're gonna go through it together. But yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Anyways, stay tuned, guys.